This isn't your normal pros and cons video. We're going to be digging into what it's actually like living in Melbourne, Florida in 2025. 5 big things that make life here on the Space Coast what it is. For some of you, these are going to be huge wins. For others, maybe not so much. Make sure you stick around because we're going to be breaking it down and give you a true local perspective. Let's go. If you are new here, my name is Joey Guest with Team Real Local, your go-to real estate crew here on the Space Coast and Central Florida. We specialize in new construction and relocation to Florida. So if you're thinking about moving here, definitely reach out. We would love to connect with you and see how we can help. I've got our contact information right here. I've also got some resources for you down in the description of this video that'll help you kick off your move. Now, let's go ahead and get into it and talk about number 1, coastal affordability. As of January 2025, the median home price in Melbourne is $360,000. Now that's actually gone up 53% since 2019, but it is still cheaper than surrounding Palm Beach County and Sarasota County significantly. That being said, inventory is up almost 70% since 2013, indicating that we are now in buyer's market conditions. The affordability index is down 20% over a 5-year period, which means that home prices are still outpacing incomes. But Melbourne still offers coastal living without the insane price tag of other Florida coastal counties. Why is this a pro? Well, if you're looking for coastal living on a budget, Melbourne is still a great option. That being said, the way that prices have increased over the past 5 years, it's outpricing some newer, lower budget home buyers from the market. So affordability's changed a lot over the past 5 years, and that's primarily because Florida, so the Space Coast used to be Florida's hidden gem. Now it's getting national attention, and that is going to bring us to our next topic, the Space Coast buzz. So Melbourne's got rocket launches lighting up the sky on a regular basis. Between SpaceX, Blue Origin, and ULA, rocket launches are going to become a more frequent occurrence in 2025. So get this, in 2024, we had about 93 launches. There's going to be up to 156 launches expected in 2025 between SpaceX, ULA, and Blue Origin. So rocket launches are going to be becoming a more common occurrence on a weekly basis. And if you're a lover of space, this is an awesome thing. But with the rocket launches also comes more traffic, more tourism, more noise. So this could be a huge benefit to you, or you may think it's the worst thing in the world. And while I love watching the rocket launches, my dog absolutely hates them. So love it or hate it, the rocket launches are here to stay and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. And while the rocket launches have a huge influence on our tourism industry and our local economy, so does the next topic, and that's our weather. Now, Melbourne's weather is going to give you over 345 days out of the year where the average daily temperature is over 70 degrees. And we've got over 72 miles of coastline for you to enjoy that weather on a regular basis. Now, with that beautiful weather also comes the storms, and specifically, I'm talking about the hurricanes. So while Melbourne is still subject to the same hurricane risk that the rest of the state is, we've actually had fewer direct impacts than South Florida or Gulf Coast counties. And that's primarily because of our deep water right off of the coast and also the Indian River. So while the Space Coast is historically more resilient to storms, it still comes at its price. And that means hurricane prep is a real thing. And homeowners here easily spend $3,000 to $4,000 more per year than inland counties. So hurricane season is a real thing, and every year is different. Some years are worse than others, but as they say, paradise has its price. This is a great place to live. There's tons of outdoor activities, but you will have some added costs when it comes to hurricane prep. So that Space Coast buzz that we talked about in this amazing weather brings us to our next topic, the growth and connectivity. Now, Melbourne's economy has been rapidly expanding with tech and aerospace leading the way. Check this out. We had over 5,000 jobs added in manufacturing since 2020 and over 10,000 defense jobs added. That's absolutely insane growth. And healthcare and tourism are also continuing to grow as well. Port of Canaveral had 6.8 million passengers in 2024. So all this growth and opportunity has been great for our local economy. It's created a much more resilient economy. We're not 100% based on tourism anymore, but that growth comes at the same cost. It's getting crowded and the traffic is getting worse, and it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So all this growth is changing the game, and it's having a big impact on our laid-back lifestyle, which is actually our next topic. So Space Coast is home to that more laid-back lifestyle, especially considered to Central Florida. We've got about 87,000 people, so it's got a really small town feel and vibe. Downtown's really chill. There's all kinds of shops and bars and just local scene. So there's not as much nightlife. The bars close early, and there's not nearly as much to do as there is in Orlando. Plus, you're over an hour away. But what we do have is tons of beaches and river access. Boating, fishing, swimming, you name it, water sports is abundant. There's just not as much shopping or theme parks as Orlando. So if you're a family looking for a more laid back vibe, this could be a great fit. But if you're trying to be right in the middle of the hustle and bustle, Orlando might be a better fit for you. So that's the vibe here. Let me know, do you like a more laid back coastal vibe or busier lifestyle? Let me know down in the comments. If you want to know where the best places to live in Melbourne are, check out this video right here. I'll see you there.